Columbia University's Nicole joins me now from New York. Nicole, good to have you on the program. Now, Raphael Warnock is claiming victory, but his Republican opponent, Kelly Loeffler, is refusing to concede. The other Democrat, John Ossoff, has now extended his lead, we know, over David Perdue. Where do things stand from your perspective as far as the final results are concerned?
I think at this point, it's pretty clear that Democrats are going to win both of these races. It might be a while before we know the final results, just because there's a provision where if you win by less than half a percentage point, then there's an automatic recount. But I think in this case, even Ossoff is going to clear that.
So in that scenario, how could Joe Biden capitalize on having a Senate majority?
This is going to change everything for Joe Biden. He was facing potentially Republicans blocking even his cabinet choices, something that generally presidents get to choose. And in this case, he's going to be able to choose probably a more progressive attorney general. Legislation that has been held up for the past many years by Mitch McConnell is now going to be able to make its way to the floor on the Senate for a vote. It's possible that senators will get rid of the filibuster, which will make it easier to move through legislation. So this is a game changer for Democrats and Joe Biden.
And there was lots of talk about stacking the Supreme Court. Any chance of that happening?
With a 50-50 Senate and a tiebreaker by Kamala Harris, I don't think so. That was always going to require a huge Democratic majority. So I think there will be other legislation that gets through, but expanding the court seems pretty unlikely.
Now, of course, Congress is set to certify Joe Biden's election win, but the president is still not giving up. But what do you make of Mike Pence saying that he won't interfere in the results?
I mean, he couldn't really interfere in the results. His role in certifying this election is largely ceremonial. If he, for some reason, didn't show up later on today, the head of the Senate would come through and oversee it. So he didn't have any real power, and choosing to side with reality is not something that Pence has always done throughout Donald Trump's presidency. But I think part of it is beginning the transition away from a party where Donald Trump sets the tone for everything.
So how do you think the Republicans are going to reflect on what's happening in Georgia? What's the indication coming from Georgia?
It's a fascinating question because there were so many forces that led to this result. I mean, the president saying that the elections were rigged and attacking Republican leaders in Georgia over the past few months certainly didn't help. The opposition from Mitch McConnell and some Republicans in the Senate to $2,000 relief checks also did not help very much. And yet at the same time, Donald Trump not being on the ballot, some could read that as we need him on the ballot in order to get the turnout numbers that we need to win elections. So I think that Republicans will sift through these results and see what they want to see.
Of course, President Trump is still in denial over the federal election. Could that spur his supporters to get back on the streets and protest?
Yes, in fact, we're expecting to see that later today, and we started to see it last night in Washington, D.C. This will be at times a peaceful rally. I think that there is certainly concern about street violence breaking out, particularly because there are some groups known for violence who are planning to show up today. Okay, Nicole, always good to get your analysis. Thanks very much. Thanks so much.